can see the screen. Go to the conservative force. Forgot. Point 1 to 2. The work done in moving from 1 to 2 is what? Path independent, right? Okay, and if it is path independent, I can associate a number with this point, say u1, and another number with this point u2. So to go from 1 to 2, I'll say the work done is u2 minus u1. Okay, and even if I take this path, the number difference is not going to change. u2 minus u1 will be same. Okay, so if something is independent of path, I can associate a number with each point in space because work done depends only on the initial point and the final point. Okay, so something is dependent on point, so to each point in space, I'll associate a number. Okay, and the difference between the numbers between the 2 points will give me the work done moving from point 3 to 4. Okay, so this number is called potential energy. Okay, the potential energy can be associated only with a conservative force. Because only then that number will become independent of the path and it will depend on the point in space. So the energy conservation equation can be written as energy initial equal to energy final, or you can say plus work done on system. If work is done on the system by an external force, then the energy will increase. Okay, so final energy will be more than the initial energy. Are you getting this point? If the work is done by the system, then the system will lose energy. Here it is on. Okay. So if a mass is moving on a friction floor with the friction, so this is the mass moving on a floor with some friction value. So here work is done by the mass or on the mass?
On the mass.
But by what? On the mass by whom?
Friction.
Yeah, but that is negative work, right? Because the friction force is this way and the displacement is this way. Was negative. If what I said, so negative work, so that is why the energy will drop down. So here work done is by mass, not on mass. On mass means it will increase its energy. Okay, so work done by friction force is negative. So that is why work is done by mass. So that way the initial final energy will be less than the initial energy. Because some energy is lost because of the friction.
Okay.
Okay. Even if you see the work is done on the mass, that work turns out to be negative. Okay. So sometimes the work is done by the mass to overcome the friction, and since work is done by the mass, it will lose some of its kinetic energy. Okay. Right. Right. Now we'll study power. Power is the rate at which the work is done. Okay. If the mass m is moving from here to here because of an external applied force, so the work done is F dot into S, right? But how quickly this work is done? d by dt of F dot S. That is power. Okay. If the same displacement is done in 5 minutes and the same displacement is done in 1 minute, then the power is different in both the cases. The power is the rate at which the work is done. Okay. And if you're talking about constant work done, then it will be an average power. What is the work done in the time interval t? Okay, W is the work done in time interval t, and the divided by the time interval is the average work done. And if you want to get the instantaneous work done, you have to take a very small interval dt. In that interval, what is the amount of work done? That will be dW. So that will be the instantaneous power. Like we have average velocity and instantaneous velocity, right? So similarly, we can have average power and instantaneous power. And work done is F dot dr. Okay, and dr by dt is velocity. So written as F dot v. So work done is F dot ds, or we can say dW is F dot ds, and power for this small interval is F dot v, because it's by dt, ds by dt is velocity. Is this clear? Okay. Collision. So collision is there will be two masses, both moving, or one of them will be at rest. And after collision, the velocities will change. Okay. But the momentum will be conserved, because according to Newton's second law, the net force acting on the system is rate of change of momentum of the system. Okay, and considering these two masses, there is nothing else outside this thing, universe. Okay, so there are no external forces. Okay, so this net force acting on the system is 0. So dP should be 0. That means the momentum is conserved, initial equal to final of the system. That's what. The mass m1 is moving here and then spreading with this mass m2. And after collision, m1 is moving this way and m2 is moving this way. Okay. At the time of collision, there is an interaction force between m1 and m2, but that's an internal force. But if you consider this system as a whole, there is no force acting on it. Because this internal force, one force will be acting like this, another force will be acting like this. If you consider the system as a whole, these two forces will cancel. So the net force is 0 on the system. Okay, the internal forces will cancel. And right, so the momentum, initial momentum to the final momentum. This is 1D motion or 2D motion, or 1D problem or 2D problem. This one. Is it 1D or 2D?
1D.
See, before collision, this velocity is moving this direction. After collision,
2D.
Direction, and M2 is moving in this direction. So it has got both X component and Y component, right?
Yeah.
So it is 2D.
Yeah.
Okay. Before collision, it was 1D. After collision, it changes direction. So you need both X and Y to explain the motion of these masses. So it's a 2D collision. Okay. And one more concept is elastic and inelastic collision. When these two masses collide, the initial energy and the final energy, if there is no energy loss, they both will be equal. Okay. So this is elastic collision. But if final energy is less than the initial energy, like some amount of energy is gone in converting into heat, or there is some friction when the mass is moving, so the final energy will be less than the initial energy. So this is inelastic collision.
Okay.
But even when there is energy loss, there is no external force acting on the system.
Hmm.
So momentum is conserved
Hmm.
for both these elastic and inelastic. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Another thing is after collision, if the two particles move together, it's called completely inelastic.
Hmm.
And inelastic collision, if two particles move together after collision. See, there is one more part defined as the coefficient of restitution. That is a final relative velocity v1 minus v2 divided by the initial relative velocity u1 minus v2. But here the collision is between two masses m1 and m2. There is mass m1, another mass m2. These two are colliding. Initially, it's moving to velocity u1, and say this is moving to velocity u2. And if u1 is greater than u2, this will go and hit collide with it. And after collision, the velocity is v1 and v2. Okay, so if you take this ratio, this is like relative velocity, right? This velocity of 1 with respect to 2. So v1 minus v2 divided by v1 minus v2 with a negative sign. This is called coefficient of restitution. So for elastic collision, E equal to 1. For inelastic collision, E is less than 1. And for perfectly inelastic collision, E is 0. Okay, E 0 means v1 equal to v2. Right, the numerator has to become 0.
Hmm.
So that means the both of them will stick together. v1 and v2 are final velocities. So if v1 equal to v2 means they will stick together after collision. That's what is written here, right?
Hmm.
They will move together after collision. That's completely inelastic collision. Okay, so E equal to 1 means it's a elastic collision or perfectly elastic collision, and between 0 and 1, it is inelastic collision, and 0 is perfectly inelastic collision, completely inelastic.
Hmm.
And this is called coefficient of restitution. Okay, this one was a 2D collision, right? Because both x and y are there. So is it possible to have a 1D collision?
Yes, sir.
Example,
So when two cars they collide.
on a straight road, right?
Yeah.
Let me take two masses, m1 and m2. Okay, with velocity u1, the initial velocities, and after collision, the velocities will become v1 and v2. Okay, so now if the momentum is conserved because there's no external force acting on it. So initial momentum, this is a 1D problem. So vector can be handled by a sign. So I'll take this direction as positive. Okay, and u1 and u2 are positive. So initial momentum is m1 u1 plus m2 u2 equal to the final momentum m1 u1 plus m2 v2. And if you assume it's elastic, perfectly elastic, then this is valid, right? Is this equation valid? The second one. First one is conservation of momentum.
Hmm.
What is second one?
Yes, sir.
It's conservation of energy. Okay, there is only one form of energy, which is kinetic energy.
Yeah.
So the initial kinetic energy is u square, final condition is v square. So we have two equations, right?
Yeah.
So number of unknowns should be 2 to solve them. So what are the unknowns here? Definitely v1, v2 are two unknowns because we don't know. That's after the collision. So masses should be given because the answer of the problem depends on the mass. So m1 and m2 should be given, and also the u1 e2 should be given because the result outcome of the experiment depends on u1 and e2 also. So all these four quantities should be given. If they are given, then we can find v1 and v2, and we have two equations for it. Right?
Yes.
Like there are no other unknowns, only four m1, e1, m2, e2, then that should be given. And the unknowns will be u1 and v2. Right. So this is collision in one dimension. And example of collision in two dimensions. Okay, here when the mass is hitting this m2, it will again move in the same straight line, right?
Yeah.
How is it possible to convert this into a 2D collision? You have seen billiard balls, no? Billiard balls, or even carom board. There the motion is 1D or 2D.
2D.
So how to create 2D motion then? 2D collision. Here it is 1D collision, right? From this, how do I create 2D collision? Or what is the condition for 1D collision? What is the condition of 2D collision?
There should be some Y component also.
Yeah, but how do you create the Y component? Let me take the example of carom board. So this is the striker, right?
Yeah.
And this is the coin. Okay. And if I join these two, the centers, and if I give the velocity in this direction, so that this one goes and hits this one, this will be 1D. Because after collision, it will move along the same straight line. Okay. But suppose I hit the striker like this, so that this is the line joining these two centers, but this thing, I'll give velocity in this direction so that it is not going hitting it head on, it's on hitting on the side. It goes and touches the coin here. Okay. Then after collision, the striker will move here and the coin will move here. Got it, no? So this is
Yes.
called head-on collision.
Okay.
And this you can say glancing collision. Okay, so this is 2D. Same thing can be true for a sphere. Okay, if the sphere is going and hitting it straight along the line joining the centers of these two, that is head-on collision. After collision will be 1D. And if it hit the billiard balls, but then it goes and touches here, not here. Okay, there will be a glancing collision, then it will be 2D. After collision will move like this. Okay, here after collision is moving straight only, the same line. So got the idea of 2D collision, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and again we can write the equations for 2D collision. I need a picture. Okay, I can promise. So let us say this is mass m1, m2, m1, initial velocity u1, u2, and after collision, m1 is moving this way, and m2 is moving this way. So since it is 2D, obviously I have to use vectors. Okay, and velocity is a vector. So I can have x-axis like this and y-axis like this. So m1 u1 plus m2 u2 equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2. Okay, this is a vector equation compared to the previous one. And then energy conservation. This is a scalar equation.
Mm.
Here I'm assuming that there is no energy loss or it's a perfectly elastic collision. Okay, and so this thing, the first equation is vector equation, right? So this I can split it into two components. Has two equations. That will be m1 u1x plus m2 u2x equal to v1x and v2x. Similarly, I can write another equation for y. Got it?
Yeah.
So I have three equations now, which I can solve to find the final v1 and v2. Collision is basically conservation of momentum and energy, right? Conservation of momentum you studied in the chapter 5, and conservation energy is this chapter.
Yeah.
That's why the collision is coming here. Try this one. With this, the theory part of this chapter is over.
Hello.
Yeah, you can hear me, right?
Yes, sir.
The theory part is over for this chapter with this concept. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So try this problem. It's not difficult. This is a 2D problem. It's elastic. That means there is no loss of energy. So energy conservation equation you can write. Friction and rotational motion are not important. Obtain theta1. Okay. So what is the velocity of m2 initially? That is u2, right?
Mm.
u2 is 0. That's what happens in billiard balls, right? The initially that ball will be at rest and you will hit this ball with the velocity and go and hit this one. Okay, instead of using u1, he is using v1i for initial. Okay, so momentum equation is m1 u1 equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2. Is this correct?
Mm.
It's a vector equation, right?
Mm.
Is it correct?
Mm.
Okay, I have to take the x component. Similarly, the y component initially is 0. Finally, it is m1 v1 sin theta 1 minus m2 v2 sin theta 2. Is this correct? Plus and minus is
Mm.
correct because y direction they have said as upwards, right? So in that direction, the first one is positive, the second one is negative. So right, and one more equation, the energy conservation equation, half m u1 square, m u2 is 0, half m. This is a scalar equation. There is no direction, and energies will add. There is no direction. Okay, now I have to find theta 2, right? So theta 2 is defined V1 by V2. And he has given M1 equal to M2. That's a nice thing. So we can simplify the calculation. And that's what happens in billiard balls. The masses are approximately constant. This one, M1 equal to M2. Okay, so the mass will cancel the equation, simplify. Right, so U1 should be a known quantity. Theta 1 is given. Theta 2 is 37. This is equal to 37. Okay, this is a momentum equation. Okay, as directly written the vector. Basically, I have to show that theta 1 plus theta 2 is 90 degrees. Okay, from this is same as U1 square equal to V1 square plus V2 square. This is correct? From this, I'm getting this one.
Yes, sir.
This is one relation. And then from here, we get here the mass will cancel because the mass are equal. Okay, if we square U1, I'll get V1 square cos square. Yeah, right. This is equation number 1. This is equation number 2. Okay, I'll do 1 square plus 2 square. So that will give me U1 square equal to the masses will cancel. V1 square plus V2 square plus 2 times V1 V2 cos minus sin. That is cos theta 1 plus theta 2. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm comparing these two. Let me call this as 1. Let me call this as 2. Okay, so comparing 1 and 2, I'll get this term should be 0. Got it? That is theta 1 plus theta 2 should be 90 degrees. Got it?
Yes, sir.
So this is a standard result. When you have two equal masses and second mass is at rest and the first mass hits it at a the angle of the between the final velocities of the two of them will be 90 degrees. Or you can say glancing collision. It's not head-on collision. Glancing collision. So the two masses will go in different directions. So after collision, the angle between them will be 90 degrees. Okay, this is a standard result. Okay, following result, when two equal masses undergo glancing collision, elastic collision, and what are the rest? That is the second one is at rest. After collision, they'll move at right angles to each other. Okay.
Yeah.
This is a standard result, and the proof of this is what I do. Okay, so from this I get theta 1 as 53 degrees. Okay.
Yes.
So now I have all the angles are known. Now I have two equations in two unknowns. Obviously, U should be known. Otherwise, the answer of the problem will be different. So initial velocity is usually known. It will be given, and we have to find V1 and V2. The full problem will be solved, right? So we have two equations here, the 1 and 2. This the third one we already used to prove that theta 1 plus theta 2 equal to 90 degrees. So we cannot keep using them again and again. So from this we can find V1 and V2. Okay, he has not found out. Okay, the question is just find out theta 1, right? Not other things. Okay, he just says find theta 1. Basically, this example is to prove that this result is valid. This is a standard result. Okay, so this example is to get this standard result. So once I know theta 1, theta 2, I can solve for V1 and V2, right? In this equation 1 and 2, everything else is known. In this 1 and 2, everything is known, right? Theta 1, theta 2 are known. So only two unknowns are there, V1 and V2. So I can find V1 and V2. You have NCERT book, no?
Yes, sir.
Just look at it. At least read the summary part. Okay? And see if you don't understand, go back to the theory part.
Okay.
Okay? And then you can try some exercise in this one. Okay, sign of work done by a force on a body is important to understand, because if work is done on the body, the energy will increase. If the work is done by the body, the energy will decrease. For example, if I take this very simple case, so this is the earth, and this is some mass m, say, and I'm taking this mass to this height. So this is the initial condition, this is the final condition. So here work is done on mass or by mass.
What, sir?
Work is done on mass or by mass. That's important to understand, otherwise the answer will be different.
Sir, by
See, to take this mass from here to here, there has to be an external force, right? Because
so on.
so the external force has to lift this mass to this point. Okay, without the external force, this thing cannot move here. Okay, so the external force is there, and that force is this direction, the displacement is this direction. So the external force is doing the work. So work is done on M.
Okay.
And on M, the energy, final energy will be greater than initial energy. Here the final energy is mgh.
Uh-huh.
0. If you take this as reference.
Okay.
So just think of external force, if there is anything, whether it is doing work on the mass or by the mass. So here work is done on the mass by the external force, if external. Okay, so you calculate the following for this. Okay, work done by a man lifting a bucket out of a well by means of rope tied to the rope. Work done by the man in lifting the bucket, positive or negative? The man is doing work on it.
So positive.
Your voice is not clear. Okay, here the work done is positive because the man is doing the work and it is increasing the potential energy of the bucket, right? Bucket is a lower height
Yeah.
initially. Finally, the bucket is at higher height. So there is increase in potential energy of the bucket. Okay, work done by gravitational force. Gravitational force is downwards, displacement is upwards. So work done by gravitational force is negative. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Work is done by the man, not by the gravitational force. And if you take gravitational force as a force, the work done is negative because the directions of the gravitational force and displacement are opposite. Work done by friction on a body sliding down in inclined plane. It's sliding down. So the friction force is the direction is up, right? So positive or negative?
Negative.
Yeah. And since it's negative work done, the energy will reduce. And that is, energy is the one which will be converted to heat because of the friction. Okay. Work done by an applied force on a body on a rough horizontal plane with uniform velocity.
Okay.
Positive or negative?
So can you repeat the question?
Here, D part. Is it positive or negative?
Positive.
Yeah, because the direction of force and the displacement are same, right? But the
Yeah.
work done by the friction force is negative. Got it, no?
Yes,
Work
sir.
done by the friction force is negative because direction of friction force and the displacement are opposite.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Work done by resistive force of air on vibrating pendulum in bringing it to rest.
Negative. Negative.
Here friction is negative because friction direction and the displacement direction are opposite.
Yeah.
The body of mass m initially at rest moves under the action of applied force is 7 Newton on a table. Coefficient of friction is 0.1. Complete work done by applied force in 10 seconds. Applied force is 7 Newton. Okay, so what is the work done? How do you find this work done?
First we calculate the force.
Force is given 7 Newton.
Sorry, displacement.
Displacement, how will you find?
By that equation of motion.
Yeah. Acceleration is known.
Yeah.
What is acceleration?
Uh, 7/2.
And initial velocity is 0, u is 0, right? So
Yeah.
you can use v square equal to u square plus 2as.
Yeah.
So from that you get the displacement, and
Yeah.
force displacement is the work done, and time is given as 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Sorry. Then you have to use AC equal to ut plus half at square. V is not known.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Time is given, so AC equal to ut plus half at square. So from that you get S. Okay. Work done by friction force. How will you do this one?
So it will be same, but no, not same. Like
it won't be same because there is acceleration. If acceleration is not there, it will be same. But applied force minus friction force equal to m into a, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Since acceleration is not 0, the friction force you have to calculate, that is mu into n. N is known, normal reaction is known. What is normal reaction?
Where is it?
Horizontal cable, right?
So energy.
It's a lesson moving on a horizontal force. So let's assume it's on a flat surface.
Yeah.
Okay. Then
20,
normal reaction is 2G.
20 Newton.
And mu is given. So you know the friction force and displacement is known from the first part. So
Yeah.
and there will be a negative sign.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Work done to the net force.
So we just add them like
And it is not
so
equal to
it is
because acceleration is
yeah.
not zero. And
Yeah.
change kinetic energy of the body in 10 seconds. That's simple.
Yeah.
Because S is known. So V square equal to U square plus 2AS.
Yeah.
Interpret you can. Because if you understood the problem, okay. 611. So this is the figure 611. Okay. So as a distance of x, the variation in potential energy is given. V of x has some variation. Okay. Total energy of okay. So this is the total energy. Potential energy is one form of energy, and this E is total energy.
Yeah.
If any particle can be found in the region for given energy, also indicate the minimum total energy of particle must have in each case. Minimum total potential. Think of the simple physical concepts for which certain shapes are relevant. Okay. See, when the potential energy is this much and this total energy is less than that, okay. So this potential, see, if you take x less than a, the potential energy is zero, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So in this point, suppose let's assume the other form of energy is kinetic energy, half m velocity square. Okay. So at this point, there will be some velocity. Okay. At this point, the velocity is same because it is same. Yeah, half m u square equal to E because there is no potential energy. At this point, what is kinetic energy?
0.
What is potential energy?
Maximum.
But it is more than E, right?
Yeah.
So how is it possible then? So
Oh, yeah, sorry.
the particle will not come here. Okay, it will stay only up to this point, less than E. The particle cannot come here. Okay. Similarly here. So an example of this thing is say a mass inside a well, and I can give a velocity to the mass, right, by kicking it, say, and I give a velocity so that the velocity keeps on decreasing, and at this point it becomes zero. So the kinetic energy I'm giving to the ball is at this level. Okay, so the total energy of the mass is at this level. So the mass will not come out of this well. Okay, because the total energy I can impart to it is some informed kinetic energy. So this is the potential energy of this top part of the well. So it will come up to this point, the velocity becomes zero, and it will not go beyond this. Okay, the second example, the rotor energy is here, so the mass cannot be anywhere. So this sort of situation is not possible. In the third case, the mass can be less than A and greater than B. Right? It cannot be found between A and B.
Yeah.
Same thing here. Here the mass can be between minus A by 2 and plus A by 2. And also beyond B by 2 and minus B by 2.
Yeah.
this one
Yeah.
as a function of x, and if the total energy is of this value, so it can go between this point and this point. Because at this point, the value of this level of E, the dotted line, is the value of E, total energy. So the particle can move from this point to this point. Okay, not beyond this.
Okay.
If the total energy is 1 joule, okay, then the particle must turn back at -2. And he has given this as half k extra, right? And k is 0.5. Okay, so 0.5 into x square by 2 should be equal to 1 joule at this point. At this point, the total energy is equal to V, right? Because total energy is the level of E. At this point, the total energy is equal to T at this point. At this point, the V is half k 0.5 into x square by 2. That should be equal to 1 joule. From that, I'll get the value of x here as 2. You can calculate that, right?
Yes, sir. 2 I got, yeah.
Yeah. Plus minus 2 because it's x square.
So include, okay. Okay, sir.
This is like a pendulum. Suppose I have a mass here, it will oscillate between these 2 points. Okay, and the velocity will be maximum at the bottommost point because potential energy is 0. And the velocity will keep on decreasing, it will become 0 here, and the potential energy here will become maximum, and it will turn back and go in this direction. The velocity will become 0 here. So it will oscillate like this between these 2 points. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The casing of the rocket in a flight burns up due to friction, at whose expense is the heat energy required for burning up in the rocket or the atmosphere. So there is some heat energy generated, right?
Yeah.
Because of the friction.
Yeah.
So where is the energy coming from?
Kinetic.
No. Okay, kinetic energy you can say, but it's basically the rocket fuel, right?
Yeah.
Rocket fuel is the source of all energy. Some part of it is going as kinetic energy, some part is going to overcome the friction, air friction.
Yeah.
That air friction is equal to heat produced. Okay.
Yeah.
So this heat energy is coming from the rocket fuel. Okay. So if the heat friction is more, then the rocket will waste a lot of fuel to overcome it. Okay.
Yeah.
Comets around the sun are moving in elliptical orbits. The gravitational force of the comet and sun is not normal. Comet's velocity in general, yet the work done by the gravitational force over a complete orbit of the comet is zero. This is a little bit complicated. Just leave it. But in the case of circular motion, the work done by the gravitational force, don't take elliptical. It's a little bit complicated. We'll do it later. Just take circular. Okay. In the case of circular motion, what is the work done by the gravitational force? Just take a circular motion. Okay. The sun is in the middle and the earth is in the circle. Okay. So what is working with the gravitational force in this case?
0.
Why?
So because the displacement and the force are perpendicular.
Okay. And that's what he's asking in this question. That is true for ellipse, but elliptical it is not true. But still the work done he's saying 0. Okay. The reason could be that one part the work done will be positive, another part the work done will be negative. So when you add the for the total path, it will turn out to be 0. Okay, that's why he's saying go over complete path. Got it, no?
Yeah.
In a circle, for each and every small part of the circle, the work done is 0. In an ellipse, the angle between force and displacement is not 0, but some part will be positive, some part will be negative. So the complete orbit, the plus and minus will cancel and you give raised to 0. Okay, that will do it like a one. Once you have to know what is an ellipse.
So because work is being done
Why?
by air friction.
So that no. So
Earth's gravity, sorry. Earth's gravity.
yeah. So there are see if the orbit is not changing, suppose it's the same distance, it's not moving closer, then the speed will decrease. The rotational speed will decrease. Okay, but it is moving inwards, right? So that inward motion is provided by the gravitational force. Okay,
Yeah.
so that speed will increase because of the gravitational pull of the Earth. Okay. So there are two forces acting on. One is the air friction, other one is the gravitational force. The gravitational force will give the necessary energy. Another way to think of it is the gravitational force is a conservative force. So you can think in terms of potential energy. So when the distance of the mass is reducing, the gravitational potential energy is decreasing, right?
Yeah.
So that decreasing gravitational potential is gone into increasing the kinetic energy.
Okay.
Okay, and small part of it is gone into overcoming the air friction. Okay, but since the part is very small, the kinetic energy is still increasing.
Okay.
So the kinetic energy is say increasing from 100 to 200. Because of this air friction, will become 199.5. Okay,
Okay.
so there will be slight decrease because of the air friction. Okay, figure 613.1. Okay, this one. Okay, man walks 2 meters with mass 15 kg on his hands. He walks the same distance with the rope behind him. Okay, in which case the work done is greater. This is a figure. Two cases. One is carrying 15 kg in his hand. Second case is using a rope to and is moving the same direction, same distance. So which case the work done is more. In the first case, what is the change in energy?
Sir, is the answer first case, which is greater?
First case work done is more, is it?
No, sir, it is less.
First case, what is the work done?
0.
Yeah, second case.
It is more than 0.
But exactly how much is it? See, the tension in the string is 15 G, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and this string is making an angle.
300.
No, hold on, don't calculate. The string is making an angle. So this component of the tension I have to take. Suppose this angle is theta, then T cos theta. So T cos theta into the distance traveled. Okay, but if you consider case 1 and 2, which one is easy for the person to move the weight? First case or second case?
Second case, he has to do more work, right?
Yeah, but more work by this calculation. But second case,
Say
is
yes.
yeah. The thing is, see what the man experiences. You have to see. There is hand here, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so this hand will have a normal reaction.
Yeah.
Okay, so that vertical direction of the vertical component of this normal reaction should balance is 15G.
Yeah.
Okay, the hand is giving normal reaction to this box. The normal reaction is at an angle because the hand is not horizontal. Hand cannot be horizontal. So that vertical component of normal reaction should be 15G. Here it is 15G cos theta or sin theta. Cos theta is in the horizontal direction and sin theta is in the vertical direction. Okay, and this horizontal direction cos theta part is balanced by this hand force and the
Hmm.
upper body force. And this vertical component is by this vertical compression in this body.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so this is more straining for the human being, the first one.
Okay.
Because the whole
Yeah.
vertical compressing force is 15G. Here it is 15G sin theta, and this hand pulling this thing is 15 cos theta, 15G cos theta.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, but
Yes.
by the conventional definition of work done, here the work done is 0.
Yeah.
Here the work done is something. And you can understand the work done is 0 because the potentiality is same, because the height is not changing, right, for 15 kg.
Yeah.
The first
Yeah.
one. In the second case, the potentiality is increasing.
No, sir. Yes, sir.
Second case, potentiality is increasing, and the increases if
Yeah.
this guy is moving by 2 meters, and this angle is theta, the height will be
Yeah.
2 meters tan theta. This
Yeah.
is 2 meters. So this vertical height is 2 meters tan theta. So the work done is 2 meters tan theta into 15G. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, sir.
So
Okay.
NCERT is a good
Okay,
book.
sir.
You can read it for getting the concepts clear. So this is the
Hmm.
third part is over of this chapter. So try to solve some problems from here. Next week I'll do Allen sheet of this chapter.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Anything
Bye,
else?
sir.
Okay. Bye.